is just fantastic.
April the 1st makes being a YouTuber quite tricky if you're a commentary type. Hi, I'm one of those. Not least because you will find tweets that could trick you, could trick many people, because some don't remember the date. Although, it could also be argued, some just preempt, plan ahead, get ready, knuckle down, and start laying the foundations early. Insert just SC Tippy. On the face of it, looks like Tipster, spelled Tlipster. They tweeted out a number of things on this Tipster but not Tipster account. The first of interest included an image from Nick Diorio from the Tipster account. Now that tweet is verifiable. I may not have seen eye to eye with Boogie regarding recent events, but I just heard about his current health struggles and I genuinely have empathy for his situation. That is a real tweet. Nick Diorio retweeted or subtweeted, or whatever you want to call that. Boogie called you a PDF a week ago. I am almost certain there'll be many that point to a somewhat inconsistent stance when it comes to those that have been critical of you. Yes, I find that if someone has said something ill towards me but then they themselves go through a health problem or concern, I shelve my disdain for that person to wish them well and hope they recover. No point hitting someone when they're already down, right? Although in Tipster's case it's fascinating how willing he is to do that when you consider he has defended Lolly twice and it has essentially destroyed his YouTube channel, where his views have continued to dive after the more recent Boogie video, where his last two, which I believe are streams or taken from streams, got under 600 views each. If he does still have a YouTube channel at the end of the year, I'd be tempted to do a Where Are They Now, but only to see if he manages to have less than 100 views by then. The Just SC Tippy account had tweeted that image of Nick Diorio by saying, "I've decided to unblock all of the commentary community and take it head on. I try and do the right thing and these clowns do nothing but try to get dunks on me, so enough is enough and I can take it. Come at me bro, give me your best shots." I will admit, when I first saw this, tweeted out on March the 29th, I had to double take. I really did, because I thought, actually that's something I can imagine he would do. Nick Diorio replied to this by saying, "Bro, he would actually do this, what the F, you got me." With this account replying, "You've been trying so hard to get under Dark Viper's skin, and I've seen how he's manhandled all at you at once. Clearly it's not so difficult. I'm just glad to see your crazed obsession with me has finally moved on to someone else." I saw this because of Chris the Nazi narc. You're a dickhead. You should be ashamed of yourself for tweeting that out. Many people obviously pointing out to him it's a fake. I think Chris may have known that, being a Nazi and all that. Now, Tipster isn't entirely on his own when it comes to these arguments that constantly ebb and flow and fade and rise to prominence again, because checks are written by people's mouths. Insert Alec Gunter, who Bo Blacks had tweeted out, "Tipster fans are wild. WTFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFFF in that, he makes a number of rather inappropriate comments, while stating Lyrics looked around 14 and wanting to smash Lyrics. Here's the clip from that tweet now.
How old is this guy? He looks underage. He looks like he's like 14. Okay, you take it up the ass like when nobody's looking, and you deny it at every point when nobody even brought it up. You're like, what do you mean in the ass? And they're like, I asked you what you wanted for dinner. Okay, well, just so it's clear, I did not get in the ass. Like that's the look that you're giving off.
How's Mrs. Tip think about that one?
What? Dog, where's your husband? Dog, you're 14. Shut up. Go back to school.
Interesting to note, I had seen a video on the Harmful Opinions YouTube channel where Harmful Opinions had a back and forth with Gunter, and it was quite bad. Harmful Opinions is a very good debater and a very entertaining creator I've followed for years back when the SJWs and TSJWs were a thing. I've also followed Harmful Opinions for years. I highly recommend you all do the same. Tipster has in fact discussed Boogie and Gamergate because while refusing to go on the LOLCal live show, he was more than willing to sit down with someone within his echo chamber, Alec Gunter, to have this discussion about Gamergate, about the old guard, the OGs of Gamergate, and of course the left and the right. If you'd rather not watch that, I can describe it for you with the following. It basically ended with both of them ending at the balls. Glock glock. Now since Tipster has moved and been more prominent on Twitch, obviously people are going to keep an eye on him, aren't they? By keeping an eye on Tipster, they get to see what he's up to, see whether he has any more bad takes, which means in turn more additional content can come from his stupidity, right? Because there's a lot of it. But Tipster has gone super defensive, the kind of defensive you'd associate with somebody who is a bit of a snowflake, an antiquated term for somebody very delicate, very sensitive, and in desperate need of a hug, but somebody who has taken far too much for granted and now they've lost it is trying to act as uber contrarian as humanly possible. So what has Tipster done? On the 30th of March, I noticed Chris the Narca tweeted, "What? When did Twitch allow this to happen? LMFAO. Included is Tipster's Twitch channel. Content restricted. You are banned from chat." Now, I don't know about bans. I don't know how you do them. I think my mods have once or twice done it accidentally and immediately undone it because the chat moved as they were choosing an option for something. Chris continues, "I've been told other people who like to laugh at him have also been banned like this. Everyone post your own screenshots. I want to see how many of you got banned like that." Now, at time of recording, I went to his channel. I am not a follower. I've not been to one of his streams, so I don't know if I'm banned or not. But in the replies, quite a few people, yes, got banned. Others pointed out the fact, though, that for somebody who has the viewership he has, banning people or restricting his streams isn't exactly useful for him. It's hardly conducive to succeeding on a dying platform. Somebody managed to get banned for typing in his chat, "How's the hug box going?" But a lot of those that you expect to have been banned are banned. Chris the Narc is an obvious one, Nick Diorio another. Another more obvious name would be Hannah as well. Hannah was at one point quite close to Tipster as a friend, but as I mentioned earlier, Tipster took a lot of what was a friend online especially for granted. That would include the communities he frequented, or the communities he thought he was a part of. As an outsider watching him sever all ties and destroy all relationships, it is fascinating that he is desperately trying to make sure that his hug box is as insulated as possible, because it's totally impossible to create alternative accounts if you really want to go and watch someone like Tipster livestream. And if you do, I'm not going to judge you for that, by the way. Your entertainment is your preference after all. I say the same for those that cover the dainty queens that I make my end of year videos on. You may like creators that I'm not overly fond of. I don't care. Again, it's your business. I'm certainly not the type to ban anyone. Just the thing, on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, I think there's only one person banned. One. Because they're a stalker. Or they were. No one else is. Because I do believe in absolute free speech, but the only thing I have an issue with is the language rules and terms of service on those platforms. What I mean by that is Twitch could yeet me for something written in my chat. YouTube kinda do that sometimes as well now, which isn't good. Something else I noticed though was that Tipster now has it so that you can't watch his previous streams unless you are a subscriber. That fascinated me. It fascinated me because, to me, and I tweeted this out, I consider this kind of lame, because people aren't going to want to go to your streams when you're not live to watch your content, to gauge whether or not you're the kind of streamer they want to watch. Now granted, there are a multitude of reasons why this could be the case, but in the case of Tipster, this won't help him grow at all, and you can certainly verify that with his Tipster Live statistics. His hours watched are going down, his hours streamed, and yeah, no, they're not doing great at the moment, actually. Followers per hour going down, but he is getting average viewers and peak viewers up, so there's a positive somewhere. However, if you want to be a full-time streamer, you need to do better than this, don't you? Especially when you are alienating a vast swath of the internet to pay lip service to whatever it is you believe. And as your YouTube content is swaying more politically, I'm inclined to believe that you have kind of sipped from a poisoned chalice. Rather than seeking to succeed, you are seeking to destroy yourself. Not that you'll get much in the way of support now from KefliPoop, who has barely made any content at all recently. Certainly not on the YouTube channel. And there are enough criticisms there at the moment because people are now pouncing on Keffels for the fact that their GoFundMe is still live, which at this point, having not received any donations in 11 months, is quite impressive, especially if you bother to go to the GoFundMe, watch the My Life is in Danger video and realise what a load of bollocks. The police debunked everything you claimed they did, and you managed to con people out of so much money. Adorable. I'm genuinely fascinated to see whether or not going forward, when Keffel starts to make videos on YouTube again, if they make them on YouTube again, I'm blocked and will never find out on Twitter, whether or not they decide perhaps distancing oneself from Tipster would be a good idea or not. I'm mentioning Keffel's just because I have a tab for both of them because they seem to be thick as thieves half the time, but also because it gives me a chance to point out to Tipster, he chose his future, he chose his fate, he chose this life. That choice determined whether or not this side job of his, hobby, whatever this is viable as something long-term or short-term. He's managed to destroy his career as a YouTuber quicker than a number of commentary creators who have since had their channels essentially destroyed through poor decisions. I still maintain you should have gone on Lolcal Live rather than seeking to have your pleasant discussion with your echo chamber. Have the difficult discussion, because then you can actually speak honestly, as opposed to having your balls cuddled while you vaguely seem to make it seem like you're smarter than you are.